what does Resource Center really mean?
We're an insurance and financial services company in South Springfield, and 20 years is our anniversary next year. The company has evolved into what it is today, which was a vision of having a one-stop shop.
You hire the best of the best.
Yes, we do. Everybody here to me is family.
Our guiding principles are:
be kind,
speak honestly,
make it simple,
act fairly,
put people over profits. Simple solutions.
Good morning, Rogersville. Welcome again to Dollars and Cents. We're here with financial expert Bruce Porter in the studio. All kinds of good stuff going on right now, Bruce.
Yeah, there is.
We had a big market rally, yesterday?
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of stuff went up. I haven't checked it today. But
Well, it's because Kamala's taken over now, and we have so much confidence in the path. What was it? What'd she talk about?
I don't know. I wasn't listening.
No, about the, oh, good grief. Anyway, she made a speech. She was at some museum
Well, that should fix everything.
talking about the path of history or something. I don't know, something.
Okay. Well, that's all good. So what do we need?
Don't worry. We're one breath away from her taking over, and
Yep.
we'll be fine.
Yep. I'm sure that'll be no problem. Well, if she can't do it, then Nancy Pelosi's right there behind her to take over.
Lord
So
help us.
there you go.
Yep.
Okay. So
Hey, it's tax time.
is it? Oh,
Yeah.
that's good to know.
Well, this time of year, everybody's really thinking about money because they're either trying to scrape together enough money to pay taxes, or they're trying to figure out how to get more back in their refunds.
Sure.
And so I think it's worth visiting about. IRA contributions are an easy solution. So let's say you're in a 12% tax bracket, and you're going to be getting a little bit of money back, but you want to get some more back. Well, let's say you put $1,000 into an IRA.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a 12% tax bracket, that theoretically is going to increase your refund by $120 because you get a 12% credit on that.
Okay.
If you're owing taxes,
Yeah.
you can pay $1,000 into an IRA or more, and you get $120 less tax you're
pay
going to
less
owe.
taxes.
So traditional IRAs have always been a way to put away money for the future and help yourself a little bit along the way, either with a little bit of extra refund by doing that or paying less to Uncle Sam.
Sure.
Now, Roth IRAs, in comparison, a Roth IRA contribution doesn't help you on the front side. So you don't get a deduction for that. It doesn't really affect you in a refund or how much you owe. But the idea of a Roth is it's tax-free for the rest of your life, and it's tax-free to your beneficiaries and your heirs and your grandkids and your great.
So the gain, the money you earn on those investments is tax-free.
Yeah,
that's
and the initial deposit and all that. So really, you can look at lots of different ways to help on taxes. One thing, if you're on a fixed income and you owe a little bit of tax, and you're trying to figure out a way how to mitigate some tax liability or have a little extra money at the end of the year, I always encourage people to shop your auto and home insurance. That's something that you can do without a lot of effort. Call the Resource Center. We have 7 companies.
Yeah.
We can check it and try to keep a little bit more money in your pocket every year.
Well, one thing I found out recently about you have your agents that do the shopping, but you've also got dedicated customer support staff. Right there in your office. And I think that's kind of unique that you've got people that their whole job is to just take care of your customers.
Yep, that's right. We have 3 people that do nothing but customer service.
And they're local right here in Springfield.
Yep.
You're not going to get outsourced to India or somewhere else. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it works. Another thing you can do if you're still employed, make sure you're making contributions to your 401k. Every dime that you put in your 401k lowers your taxable income. So, there's maximum contributions. You can put up to $19,500 this year for 21 in your 401k. And if you do that, that lowers your taxable income by $19,500
Wow.
if you're under age 50. If you're over age 50, it's $26,000. So if you're trying to really pile up money for retirement, and you're still working and that is available to you, I encourage people to take advantage of that. Now, the allocation of the money becomes another question.
Right.
So while you're building later in life through your 401k, make sure you're paying attention to the allocation of that money.
Sure.
You don't have to be aggressive and just out of sight, out of mind. Keep your finger on that pulse. And if times get tough, if things get shakier than they are, just be conservative, but keep contributing. Now, if you're above age 59 and a half and you're worried about the management of that large 401k that you have, you can consider an in-service rollover. Most plans allow the older clients the ability to roll out the bulk of their 401k into an IRA without current tax. And it's a way to secure and get better control of that money, and then just continue contributing to your 401k until you retire. But at least if everything went to pot, you're going to have that money you pulled out in a more secure environment.
Well, that makes sense.
It makes sense to consider that. If nothing else, look at choices and options. You can give us a call at the Resource Center. We'll be glad to sit down and visit about that. But, keeping an open mind on things that you need to be considering or looking at, I think that's important. We got a QR code
there you
here.
go.
Take a picture of that. Check us out. And, there's all kinds of things that we can offer through the Resource Center. But knowledge is power. Keep yourself educated. If you're intimidated by money, if you're intimidated by taxes, even estate planning, we see this all the time. People are intimidated. They don't know where to start. They don't know who to talk to. Well, this gives you some choices and options.
And a lot of free resources. You can come and call or come to the Resource Center and get a lot of good free information, no obligation, just to maybe get your feet wet and get a little education to understand.
Call me. We'll sit down at Storytime Coffee and drink some good black coffee.
Yeah.
Good have stuff. A discussion about it.
Sounds
good
fantastic.
Stuff.
All right, Bruce, thanks for coming in again. If you have questions, feel free to send them in, info@krogtv.com, and we'll see you next week on Dollars and Cents.
Sounds good.
Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC. AE Wealth Management and the Resource Center, Inc. are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet a particular need of an individual situation. The Resource Center, Inc. is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this podcast shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein, provided by third parties, have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by the Resource Center, Inc. This podcast is a paid placement.